With part 2, starting off with language where we couldn't sadly go last time, as Estonian SD is a member of the Finno-Ugric branch of the Uralic language family, spoken in Estonia and scattered pockets in surrounding regions. And the language occurs in two major dialectal forms, northern and southern. Northern or Tallinn dialect is the basis of the Estonian literary language, and the first notable written materials in Estonian are the Kalmar prayers of the 1520s. And Estonian belongs to the Baltic branch of the Finno-Ugric languages. It's most closely related to Finnish, Baltic, Livonian, Ugrian, Karelian, and the epsilon structure of the language is best known for its unusual contrast of 3 degrees of a consonant and vowel length, like koli, meaning junk, with the short O. There's kuli, which means of school, with a long O, and kuli, which means to school pronounced with an extra long O. O spelled the same as like kuli, meaning of school. An Estonian also has a characteristic Baltic consonant graduation, in which consonants alternate in the context, but it has lost the feature of vowel harmony. As vowel harmony is said to exist in certain vowels, cannot occur with other specific vowels within a word, as Estonian, like the other Uralic languages, primarily mark the grammatical categories by the addition of suffixes to the stem, and much of the Estonian vocabulary has been borrowed from German. So yeah, that is a language for you, quick as it may be. As we're going to talk about legends for a while, as like specifically Tallinn, which has been first mentioned in historical books of Arabic geographer al-Idrisi in 1154, and there's like a lot of active life over the centuries that goes with it. Yeah, so here goes. As the most important legend is the story about old Thomas, as since the year 1530 there was a wind vine blowing on top of City Hall Tower, in the shape of an old man with a hat. He holds a spear in his hand. The legend tells us that in medieval Tallinn, every year the archery contest was held to see who could shoot a wooden parrot off the top of a high pole. Although the game was held only for the rich and aristocratic people, the legend says that no one could shoot down a parrot until a young boy called Thomas gave it a shot, and he targeted it with remarkable precision. For that he got in trouble, and as he was from a poor family, but instead of getting tied up to a post of shame, he was made an apprentice guard because he had such remarkable skills, and Thomas eventually became an expert soldier and a great guard, and all that was loved by many. And when he died, the city made a metal statue and put it on top of the city hall, so Thomas could still look over Tallinn until the end of time. And the citizens of Tallinn still believe that as long as old Thomas is up there looking after them, nothing bad can happen to the city. And one of the more well-known ones is probably the myth of Old Man of Miste Lake, as Old Man called Miste of Vanke, the Old Man of Unmisty Lake, is said to be sitting on the outskirts of Tallinn near the lake and watching Tallinn grow. And once every year he rises from the lake, comes to Tallinn and knocks open the city gates, asking if the city of Tallinn is finished, and the guards were given strict orders to always respond with no, and then the Old Man of Unmisty would turn and go back to the lake, mumbling angrily all the way. And this belief was that if someone else told the man that the city is finished, he would call up the waters of the Misty Lake and send them all down to Tallinn, filling the city entirely. Therefore, if someone ever happens to ask you if the city of Tallinn is finished it, you will always to say no to them. And there's one from both Estonia and Denmark now, as it tells us goes on about the Danish flag. The Dannebrog drops from the sky to what is now called the Danish King's Garden. According to the story, Denmark's King Valdemar's forces were losing the battle with the Estonians in 1219, when suddenly the skies opened and a red flag with a white cross floated down, and the Danes believed it to be a holy sign. And after being motivated like that, the Danes won the battle and conquered Tallinn. Then there's a legend about the tallest church in Tallinn, and until some point the tallest church in medieval Europe, the St. Olaf's Church. Legend tells that the nobles of Tallinn decided to build the tallest church in the world in hopes of luring more merchants to the city, but when to find a master builder capable of carrying out such a task, while not asking too much money for a job, suddenly a complete stranger appeared out of nowhere and promised to build a church, but the payment he asked was more than what the city could pay, and the man was willing to forego payment on just one condition. The city people had to guess his name. And the stranger worked so fast and talked to no one, and the church was nearly finished, and the city fathers grew more anxious by the day. Finally, they sent a spy to sniff out the stranger's name, and the spy was able to find the builder's name. When a woman was singing a lullaby, "Here to a child, sleep my baby, sleep O live, will come home soon, with gold enough to buy the moon." The next day they called out to the builder, who was attaching a cross to the top of the steeple, "O live, O live, the cross is crooked." Upon hearing his name, Olive lost his balance and fell on the way down, and legend tells of a frog and snake that crawled out of Oliv's mouth as he lay there on the ground. Building the enormous structure had required help of dark powers, and yet the builder's name was given to the church, named after Saint Olaf. Then there's what was Tallinn's name before it became Tallinn, as it was called Revel, or Revel, among many, and legends say that the Danish king Vladimir II was hunting for deer in what was to be the upper city of Tallinn, when he spotted a beautiful stag just for him, and the king said to have liked the animal so much he gave orders to capture him alive. Unfortunately, the stag ran away and fell from a high limestone bank and broke his neck, and in German, Refale means fall of a deer, and so the name became Reval. And why in the legend they say the Danish king hunted deer, and then name derives from the German language, who knows. The most interesting house in all Tallinn is located in Rataskevu Street. In one of the houses on that street, a legend tells that the devil himself held his wedding there, and the owners of the house had wasted away his wealth and saw no future for himself, for he was in great debts and all. And one night he became so desperate that he decided to take his life, and at the fatal moment a stranger entered the room and asked the broke landlord's permission to celebrate a wedding on the top floor of his house. In reward he promised the man all the riches he wanted, but he also gave a warning no one would eavesdrop on the feast, otherwise it would cost the eavesdropper his life and money. And the landlord agreed, and at the appointed night the guests started arriving at the door. You could hear them but not see them, and lights were lit in the top floor window. Beautiful and stunning music sounded, and the whole house shook as if under the weight of a great number of dancers. And when the clock struck 1, everything suddenly went quiet, and the landlord was then expecting a fortune. And suddenly his butler felt sick, and before death he revealed he had been eavesdropping at the devil's wedding. And now the room is said to be walled, and the wall facing the street is painted on the wall. There were just a few that were picked out, and and some are more well known. So yeah, but every little place has a story, at least some sort of story to tell. So yeah, I'm gonna say bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. So yeah.